They say when you earn something, you appreciate it even more. Our next inductee took no shortcuts to rise to the top of his profession. He did indeed earn it. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, grew up to start a career in sales, then later opened up a very successful office machine dealership. He was interested in boxing. He was invited to be a judge and started judging amateur bouts in Illinois. As he gained experience, he served as the vice president of the Illinois Amateur Boxing Association. He also served 6 years as the director of the Chicago Golden Gloves. He began judging pro bouts in 1993, and as he had done in the amateurs, he paid his dues and he moved up the ranks. He moved to Florida in the mid-1990s. His reputation grew, and it led him to a spot not just as a top judge in the state of Florida, but in the entire world. He has had an extensive relationship with the WBO, including holding judging seminars. These days, you'll be sure to hear his name called on every major network as he continues to judge some of the top fights with the sport's biggest names. Well-loved and respected by all those who work and know him. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, class of 2013, boxing judge Michael Pernick.
Oh, what a difference you've made in my life. What a change you have made in my heart.
Wow. First, I would like to thank Butch and Kathy and Sam and Harriet and everybody tonight, or this morning, Rocky Young, Toby Tamarkin, Alex Levin, and we have many, many, many more in the state. There is no one best judge. There is no one best referee. There is no one best fighter. Even Henry would admit there is no one best promoter. And I just want to mention, Mrs. Scobred, that I had the honor with working with Frank here in Tampa when Roy Jones fought Derek Harmon, and we had a wonderful evening together, and we had dinner together, and he was just a super guy. So it's great to be inducted with him. I want to thank all my friends from the other coast who came in to be with me and share in this. There's a couple special people I'd like to thank, my cousins who came from California. One who actually was inducted 2 years ago into the Blues Hall of Fame, my cousin Bruce. And there's a couple other special people, my brother Steve, our sons Jason and Brian. And there's one guy here who was my former business partner, who I spent 21 years working with. And probably the last 5 years, I was there about 20% of the time because I was running around the city of Chicago doing boxing, and he never said a word about it. And then there's another special person who I said, if I ever found a woman like my partner, with the demeanor of my partner, and the character of my partner, and I could find that woman, and I did. They both have curly hair, but thank God she doesn't have the mustache, and she's much better looking. The love of my life, who's been with me on this great ride, my lovely wife, Karen. And there's a couple special people, mentors I have. One is in this room, and who came all the way from New York to be with me, and it certainly was one of the greatest mentors I ever had, and is the voice of HBO boxing, Harold Letterman, and his wife Eileen. But prior to him being with HBO, Harold was truly one of the best judges in the history of the game, and I'm so happy you joined us, Harold. And I have hello from everybody, from Bobby Goodman, who's a Hall of Famer, a Florida Hall of Famer, who couldn't make it due to some illness, and he was one of my best friends in boxing. And Ron Ross, the great author, I don't know if you've read any of his books, 9, 10, and You're Out, and the Bummy Davis book, and his lovely wife, Sue. But there's a couple special mentors I want to quickly mention, and that was the person who brought me into boxing, was a great referee in Chicago, ran the Park District amateur program, and truly gave me the opportunity. And the last event he was at our wedding before he passed, and that was Stanley Berg. And then when I came to Florida, I couldn't get much work right away, and I understood coming from out of town, if everybody retired and came here and wanted to work, it would be difficult. But Don Hazelton and Paul Herman, when Don opened up at Miccosukee, had a big fight, Cesar Bazan, and in the rematch with little Stevie Johnson on HBO, and he gave me that shot, and the doors opened up like a flood for me. And Don was just a terrific guy, a tough guy, but a great leader, and we all loved Don. And people ask me about boxing and how do you be a judge and all this other stuff, and I go back to my amateur days, and I'll never forget, because people say, when you get in that chair, are you nervous? And you're damn right you're nervous when there's 50,000 or 500 people in the room and they're marching those fighters in, and you don't know what's going to happen. You're nervous. But I think back of the amateur days, and I remember like an amateur boxer, his name was David Diaz, and he won the National Golden Gloves in Milwaukee, and he was walking around with this trophy, crying like a baby, and with his father. And he went on to become a WBC champion. He went to the Olympics. And when I sit in that chair, that's who I think about. I think about the fighters. I don't think about the promoters. I don't think about the trainers. I think about these combatants get in that ring, and there's nobody there but them and the officials, the referee to protect them and enforce the rules, and the judges to be fair and honest. And that's who we're working for, and that's who we'll continue to work for. And my whole thinking and process is making sure that when I'm in that chair, everybody knows their boxer is going to get a fair shake, and that's what they deserve, the best. And we have some great boxing judges all over the country, and they believe the same thing, and I'm glad that they're being recognized. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Thanks to the Florida Hall of Fame.